AITA for letting my ex-wife's stepdaughter move in with me. My ex and I divorced about 12 years ago. We have a 15-year-old son together. She married a guy a couple of years later. He has a daughter who is 4 years older than my son. So my son has known her for about 10 years. She has always been nice to him and there has never been any serious arguments between them. My ex and her husband live about an hour and a half from town. So when she got into college they decided they didn't want her commuting 3 hours a day, especially in Manitoba winters. So they budgeted for her to live with friends while she was in school. I have known the girl since she was 7 years old. She is an intelligent, charming, and friendly kid. She is also burned out from school. I am not going to defend her actions. She lied to my ex and her father about dropping out of college. She did her first semester but she was overwhelmed and dropped out. And she didn't tell them. But she kept the money they sent her for housing and food. She should not have lied, but I understand why she did. They cut off her funding and told her to get a job. Which is totally fair. If you aren't in school you should be supporting yourself. She had enough money to make it to July. She found a job but it didn't pay enough to cover living in the city. Her dad and my ex would not let her move home. My son called me to ask if I could help her out. I thought about it and I said I would. I have room in my house. So I told him to have her call me. We talked about it and she moved in at the beginning of August. She is paying rent she can afford. And buying her own food. She is also doing chores around the house. My ex found out what I did and lost it on me. Their plan was for her to be so desperate that she agreed to go back to college with them, keeping a much closer eye on her. I screwed everything up by not letting her become homeless in Winnipeg. Her husband is pissed off with me for interfering with a kid that I'm not related to. I can understand where they are coming from, but I think they are not doing the right thing. I just want my son to know she is in a safe place. I also think she will go back to school once she figures out how much it sucks only having a high school diploma. I didn't know where to add this, but before any of you start calling me a pervert or anything, please know that to the best of my knowledge she isn't into people with a Y chromosome. And I'm not into girls young enough to be my daughter. #EDIT. I knew I forgot something. Her mom and dad's family are all in Alberta. And she doesn't want to move there. NTA. She's not a child. She's an adult. No age given. But the be in college for a semester. She is at least 18. As an adult, she found a living situation that is safe and economical. She is, in fact, your flatmate, just like she was supposed to be with some random strangers in campus. You're setting a great example for her and your kid. NTA big time. She is burnt out in her late teens and someone calls you an off for helping her? Wow. Their plan was for her to be so desperate that she agreed. As someone with mental health issues who also overworked themselves and had to drop out of uni, your ex makes me really angry. I cannot understand why any parent would let this knowingly happen and even make it worse. That's just cruel. You potentially saved her from stuff like depression or other struggles. She must have her reasons that she lied to them. NTA. First of all, hello fellow Manitoban? The ones saying YTA are completely incorrect and have no idea what they are talking about. Ignore them. You and I both know what Winnipeg is like. It's scary and it's dangerous. I actually moved out to Brandon because I was sick of Winnipeg's BS. Your ex and her partner are some of the stupidest people I've come across yet. Women go missing here all the time. I carry pepper spray just to go to the mall. They seem to want to risk their daughter's life to prove some kind of point instead of being parents. What you're doing is amazing and selfless. Keep being awesome. You're the definition of friendly Manitoba. I'm proud of you. They didn't clue you in. So what's done is done. I do think it's funny that her dad and your ex didn't think your son was caring or smart enough to try to figure out how to help his sis. Kudos to him for trusting and asking you. College isn't for everyone. Yes, she should have told them. But from their attitude, it seemed she knew it would be futile. NTA. She's an adult and sounds like she made an adult decision by reaching out to someone she trusts for help. They're just upset because they can't control her life like they want to. NTA. You're helping put someone who needed a place to stay and they based their parenting strategy on her not having anyone care enough to help her when she was desperate other than them. NTA. You are doing an extremely nice thing in letting her stay with you. Your ex and her husband are Ta though. I'm not from that area, but I can imagine that it wouldn't be safe for a 19-year-old female to be alone on the streets. Anywhere. The fact that they are doing this on purpose is completely ridiculous. In Ta, their plan was abuse. It sounds like you are treating her like the young adult she is. NTA. Congratulations on raising a son with empathy and successfully modeling it for him. Not everyone's journey to university is straightforward. NTA and her parents are nuts. She will absolutely eventually go back to college. But not when her parents are terrorizing her into doing it. If anything, they are destroying her drive to go. Good on your son for looking out for his sister when her parents wouldn't. He likely called the parent that he knew would parent. NTA. How was anyone supposed to guess their ridiculous, secret plan? They're lucky she didn't end up living in a seedy hovel where she wasn't safe, or sleeping on the streets. She landed as on her feet as best she could. They should be proud. Lots of people take a few years to decide what they want to do. NTA. Her husband is pissed off with me for interfering with a kid that I'm not related to. Not a kid. An adult they told to figure it out on their own and make adult decisions. You did a favor for your son and helped out someone in need. NTA. They'd rather see her living on the streets? That's abusive as hell. Not everyone is suited for college. Trade schools, apprenticeships etc. produce very good paying jobs. She's an adult who is trying to decide her future and you are giving her the time and space to be able to relax and think. Good on you. Your ex and her husband sound like the type who push their kids into higher education for their own benefit, like bragging rights. NTA. So they'd rather she learned a lesson and possibly ended up dead in the ditch. PPL responded to the thread saying Winnipeg is pretty dangerous for young women. Than her having a place to stay with a trusted adult and figure out stuff in her own time. NTA. She is an adult now and can make her own decisions. You are helping her out. Super controlling parents are never a good thing. NTA. You are a kind and compassionate person. Their plan to make her homeless was a truly awful one. She is now an adult and can make her own decision on where to live. Good for you for providing a safe space. And for being a role model for your son. He was comfortable enough to ask for help. You stepped up. Well done. NTA. When parents manipulate their children, family is where you find them. And out on the streets, especially with vulnerable young people, the family that is found may be just as bad or worse. This could have gotten very bad, very fast for her. Thank you for stepping up. NTA. Her parents sound controlling. Do they really want her to be homeless? That's beyond cruel. NTA. You're doing a good thing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.